The case of Dylan Kesterson sparked citywide outrage. You might recall he was released from jail just hours after allegedly assaulting a father and his 5-year-old daughter, both of Japanese descent, in a racially motivated attack in early July. Well, now Asian American groups, prosecutors, and even crime victims are pushing to change the statewide policy that allowed Kesterson to walk free. On Monday, a state subcommittee supported changing the rules so that people who are charged with first-degree bias crime are not released from jail before their case is heard by a judge. The Oregon District Attorneys Association, or prosecutors, sent a letter supporting the change, as did the Portland Japanese American Citizens League, or JACL, signed by 15 other Asian American organizations. John Kadachi is a Portland lawyer and former JACL president.
Once immediately released, that person's potentially capable of engaging in another attack, another assault. And so we think as the community that it's very important to keep that person locked up until they're presented before a judge who can make a better determination as far as a release or not.
The guidelines for when to release defendants prior to their first court appearance is based on a statewide order issued by Oregon's Chief Justice. The pretrial release guidelines were rewritten as a result of bail reform legislation and went into effect on July 1st, one day prior to Kesterson's arrest. In general, the new guidelines require that only people charged with more serious offenses, including violent felonies, sex crimes, and domestic violence felonies or misdemeanors, are held in jail until they appear before a judge. Advocates would like bias crimes to be added to that list.
And so having the Supreme Court include bias crimes as a hold until arraignment type of crime, I think gives some assurance that the system is treating that crime very seriously and protecting the public.
Kesterson was rearrested on July 6th after failing to show up in court. He pleaded not guilty and is now facing 23 counts, included charges stemming from several incidents prior to the July attack. A new indictment filed Monday accused Kesterson of a bias attack on April 9th, where he allegedly robbed a woman. Details of that incident have not been released. Kesterson is also accused of racially motivated attacks on April 17th, where he harassed 3 different women in downtown Portland because of their race. A security guard snapped these photos of Kesterson near the scene.
You know, hate crimes are real and they're detrimental to people's health. Like, it is insane.
One of the victims, Tyra Blackman, says she's still dealing with the physical and mental effects of that violent, unprovoked attack. The Michigan woman is frustrated that Kesterson wasn't apprehended after her assault in April and dumbfounded that he was allowed to walk free after a similar racist attack in July.
He could have easily assaulted someone else. Because as far as I understood, he pleaded not guilty to any of these, which means he doesn't see what was wrong with the issue. And so if you have people like that immediately released from jail, not knowing what the issue was, he can easily do it again.
A Japanese student living in Portland told KGW that Kesterson screamed at him and slapped him in the face on June 25th in downtown Portland. To date, no charges have been filed in that case.
I feel so afraid.
A recent report by the Oregon Criminal Justice Commission found anti-Asian incidents in the state increased by almost 200% last year. Victim advocates argue the courts need to take these cases seriously by holding people charged with bias crimes behind bars.
So, Kyle, what's the next step here?
Well, there are a few hoops to jump through. First, a committee has to make recommendations. Then it's up to the Chief Justice to amend the order. If and when that happens, each circuit court will have to amend its guidelines. It sounds relatively complicated, but at the end of the day, it's actually a fairly quick fix, or could be.
All right. And what more can you tell us about this Kesterson character?
Yeah, he's 34. He's homeless. According to court records, he's been living in Portland for about a year now. He doesn't have a criminal history. That really is significant because it's one of the factors considered when determining whether to release someone prior to arraignment, along with obviously the charges they're facing.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate it.